And in business news, let's start with the Warri Refinery, where President Bola Tinubu has commended the reopening of the refinery, the petrochemical company by the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited. He noted this as a milestone development which will strengthen Nigeria's hopes in his administration's commitment to revitalizing the energy space and fostering economic growth. Earlier today, Comrade Peter Esele, former president of Pengasan, was with me on our flagship business show. He applauded this development, adding that it's a plus in the administration's efforts aimed at restoring Nigeria's refining capacity.
Yes, it's a combination of political will coming from the president wanting professionals to deliver on what he wants them to do. And then the other aspect again is that the GMD of NNPC, who has also, who I would say is also a professional, who has been doing his best to also make sure that he lives up to the expectation and lives up to his promises. You know, Mr. Kyari is always giving himself deadlines. Sometimes he doesn't meet those deadlines, but behind what he has in himself is that he's bound to ensure that he meets those deadlines. So you have a combination of political will and professional competence, which is playing out right now, and less interference of politicians in what is happening in NNPC, including the chairman of the board. The chairman of the board is also an alumni of ExxonMobil.
And away from that, despite the intense macroeconomic headwinds for the year 2024, the Nigerian economy has exhibited resilience on the account of its GDP performance. The GDP grew at 2.96% in the first quarter of 2024, 3.19% in the second quarter, and 3.46% in the third quarter, with a projection of about 3.6% for the last quarter of 2024. Chief Executive Officer of the Center for the Promotion of Private Enterprises, Dr. Muda Yusuf, earlier today did an holistic review of major economic activities for 2024, and he disclosed certain projections for 2025.
It is an evidence of the resilience that the economy has shown in 2024, because it has been quite challenging for businesses, particularly on account of two major factors or three major factors. The factor of the exchange rate depreciation, the factor of the high energy costs, and the factor of insecurity. You know, those three factors were major headwinds for the economy across all major sectors of the economy. So if in spite of that, we are still able to post a GDP growth of 3.46 as at the third quarter, I think that is a very good performance. And we are hoping that as we remove or deal with some of these headwinds going forward, the situation will get better. And don't forget, even in the budget, 2025 budget,
yes,
the projection for GDP growth was 4.06. You know, here we are already doing 3.46 as at the third quarter. And my expectation is that the performance for the fourth quarter is likely to be better than the performance.
So it's not too ambitious.
No, it's not too ambitious at all. I think it's something that is realizable. You know, so we may be closing the quarter, the year at about 3.6 or 3.7. You know, so the 4.06% projected for 2025 under the MTEF it's not ambitious at all.
Markets now, a day before the closure of business at the stock exchange for the year, many companies tapped into the bullish run, upgrading prices in key sectors. The long lines of gainers pushed the index upwards to almost a percentage point, stressing the trade advantages that came to key businesses. The big bear maker, Guinness, ranked top with over 3% price jump, followed by Suno Assurance, Mayer Paints, Len Africa, and Livestock Feeds. The low traders trade today with losses where O&O, Nigerian Breweries, UBA, LLX, and Champion Breweries. Outside our shores, Asian shares made a muted start to the week as high treasury yields challenged rich Wall Street's equities valuation, while underpinning the US dollar near a multi-month peak. MSCI's broadest index of Asian Pacific shares outside of Japan dipped 0.2%, but is still 16% higher for the year. Japan's Nikkei is 0.9%, but is still sitting on gains of around 20% for 2024. South Korea's main index ran into a storm of political uncertainty in recent weeks and is saddled with losses of a 9 year, that's for the year 2024. It was last up 0.3%. Chinese blue chips added 0.3% to be up almost 16% on the year, with almost all that gain coming in just 2 weeks in September after Beijing promised more stimulus. Eurostock 50 features firmed 0.1%. FTSE and DAX features were little changed. S&P 500 and Nasdaq features were both off 0.1%. And to South Korea, where the factory output fell more sharply than expected in November amidst a slowing exports and weakened business confidence. Now, the latest data from the Korea Statistics Office shows that the industrial output index fell 0.7% over the month on a seasonally adjusted basis after no change in the prior month. On an annual basis, the index was up 0.1%, slower than gains of 6.3% the month before, 0.4% expected by economists. Last month, South Korea's export growth slowed to a 14-month low as shipments to the United States and China fell amidst tariff uncertainty. The country's business sentiment hit 3 this month, with the weakest in more than 4 years.